Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is kind of a quick update on where we are going moving forward, 2026. So kind of a couple updates on things. So on the orange car, on the Cheeto, I'm going to get the rear seat. I'm going to pull that and get it refinished to match the front Japanese orange and black interior. The rear seats are no longer available from Japan, so I can't get those. And even if they were, with all the tariffs and duties and everything else right now, it would be extremely cost prohibitive, even though you're talking about $2,500 worth of factory parts, plus shipping something that's that big, and duties and tariffs and everything else on top of that, where I can take it to a pretty well-known upholstery shop in Dallas and they can do it for me for a couple $100. So that's in the plans, but I don't think I'm gonna do a video about it. Maybe I'll show you the final product. I'm still working on getting the heated steering wheel added to this. There's a lot of trial and error that's involved in that. So I've been purchasing different airbag spiral assemblies to make sure we can get one that works with everything. So that's still in the works, but it's kind of low on my priority list right now because I've been so busy. The Blueberry, the Blue GSF. So we bought that in October of 2025 with 145,000 miles. Here it is, January of 2026. It's about to hit 155,000 miles. So it's had 10,000 miles put on it in about 3 months. And I did the RR pulleys. I did the water pump. I did the thermostat, the belts, the hoses, everything like that. The tensioners. I'm gonna do a full transmission service on it, probably when that 180,000 mile service comes up. So I need to do spark plugs again. The front lower control arm bushings, I'm waiting until the current tires are worn out, and then I will replace the 4 tires and do the front lower control arm bushings. I already have them on hand, I just have to do them. When the Brembo brakes wear out, I'm gonna add PowerStop Z26 pads. But this car, as you know, I work in the oil and gas business. This car gets a lot of miles put on it very quickly. Right now, I'm currently working about 125 miles each way from my house. And so that's 250 miles a day. I spend 4 hours a day in this car. So I get to spend lots of time enjoying it, really. But 250 miles a day. And if my wife drives it, her round trip is 166 miles a day. So, that's why we had these older Accords and things like that to put mileage on. And so the GSF, we went into it knowing that the running costs are a little bit higher to do it, but we're ready for it and jumping headfirst into it. So this car, by the end of 2026, I would fully expect it has at least 180,000 miles, probably closer to 200,000 miles by then. Maybe it'll be one of those that goes on like Matt Farah's million-mile Lexus. Maybe we'll get it there, but I would fully expect at this rate, it's definitely gonna be on its way to be one of the highest mileage examples out there. There is one, as I said, in Mississippi. It's a one-owner car with like 5 accidents, and it has 260-something thousand miles on it. That is currently the highest mileage. There's one with 245,000, and then there's a couple with just over 200,000 right now. One of them was totaled last year at Copart in California, so I don't think that one's on the road anymore, but there still is another one. So I think there's 3 or 4 that are over 200,000, and there's several that are in the upper 100s. And so with ours being at 155, got a ways to catch up to some of the others that are out there, but I think at the rate we're going, we will probably surpass some of that at maybe even by the end of the year. So that's what's coming with that. If I have any other issues that come up with that car, I will try to make a video about it as I repair it. The car is currently at Lexus getting the ZLZ done. That's the dash replacement. And I decided to go ahead and have them do the valley plate replacement. It was only a few $100s more than what my Toyota master mechanic was gonna quote me, which is significantly more than what he originally charged me, but he's done a couple more valley plates since then, and I don't know if he's had some other issues that he ran into, but it wasn't too much more expensive to just go ahead and have the dealer do it. And they warrant well, of course, my mechanic warrants his work too, but the dealer will warrant the work and the labor if there's any issues, and that's more important for a car like that where there's a whole lot of miles put on it very quickly. So that was kind of the deciding factor. So the final quote ended up being about $2,300, almost $2,400 to have the valley plate replaced on that car or resealed. I did supply them with a new valley plate assembly in the case that it could be warped or anything, because it has been leaking for a long time. I didn't want to chance it. So I provided them with a brand new OEM Valley plate assembly. And so that's like 150, 160 bucks, something like that. Cheap insurance is the way I see it, because most of that is labor anyway. But anyway, so far so good. I have a couple other things that are planned. It's kind of low on the priority list at the moment, but there's a gentleman in Tennessee, which he's well known in the GSF community and on Club Lexus. And he also has one of the lowest mile GSFs in the country, still has 3-digit mileage. And he has successfully added the 4G telematics unit, which is what the 2018 to 2020s have, where you can actually still remote start and open and unlock your car with an app. There's a little bit of wiring that's involved, and you have to find a 4G telematics unit off of a GS350 or a GSF that has not been registered. And so that is hard to find. And so we'll get into that when the time comes. But the whole reason that's a big deal is these cars, the 2016s through the early 2018s, had a 3G telematics unit to control everything. And well, guess what? That technology sunsetted in 2022. There was a class action lawsuit against Toyota and Lexus for that, and it ended up being dismissed with prejudice. So somebody can still sue them later, but for right now, it's nothing you can do about it. So this is the answer for now, is to upgrade the telematics unit, which is the ECU that's right underneath the glove box. But that's really it for the time being. I'm gonna get the PPF replaced on the blue car, and even though we have the ability to do it, it's again a time thing. So when we sold our detail shop and we closed everything up, the guy that bought a lot of our paint protection stuff, the cutting plotter, the software, things like that, he's the guy that's ending up going to do that for us. And so he's gonna remove all the PPF, replace all of it, and touch up a couple of the spots on it before he replaces the PPF, because it did get down to the paint in a couple spots. But trying to keep that looking as awesome as I can, because it had paint protection film on it since it was new. The ISF spreadsheet will be coming out soon, and I know I keep saying that, but I can release the numbers now, but I'm trying to do a little bit deeper where I can pull out the Canadian cars, the Puerto Rican cars, the Hawaiian cars, because they are different markets. And so make sure that I have accurate USA numbers and accurate other market numbers as well. And I'm working on the RCF too, but again, that's just, the RCF is the last on my priority list, and I still have to build the rest of the VINs from 2020 to the end of production in 2025. So I've got a little bit more to do on that, and hopefully, I'm gonna take a little time off this summer from work, and so I may work on that a little bit, but I do have a farm that I have to look after too. In the wintertime, I have more free time to do stuff like this. This is why you see me do things like the water pump and interior things when I have a little bit more time, because I'm not out on a tractor doing stuff. So anyway, just, there's more coming, and I want to keep doing the deep dives for you guys for the GSFs. Those are well received, and eventually, hopefully, I have a deep dive on every single one. So that would be awesome too. So that's where we're at going forward. I hope to continue to bring you great content, and I'm thankful for you guys and the positive feedback that I get from doing all of this. And I do it as a service to the GSF community. I'm not doing it for the money. This channel is monetized, but it makes like $100 a month. It's not. It covers a couple of the Carfaxes, and I can get the Carfaxes for about $2 a piece. So let's say it covers 50 Carfaxes a month. And I do more deep dives than that, usually about one a day or every other day. So anyway, that's what I've got for you guys. Thanks again. And of course, make sure you're subscribed, thumbs up, and we will see you soon.